All right, welcome back, everybody. Back at it tonight as we talk about the newest softball commit for Oklahoma women's softball. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and hit the like if you like the video, please. But today we get the commitment from Karlie Keeney from Liberty, guys. We saw the Go Boomer tweet from Patty. We had a video yesterday thinking it might be Kern, one of our listeners, calling. I'm shouting out right now, Steve, for saying it's Keeney. He was dead on with it. It was Keeney. And, we had seen some recent follows from Keeney as she recently followed JT Gasso and a few TRA Jennings. I, I wasn't sure how soon it would happen on the commit, but it happened pretty quickly. She commits to Oklahoma. And, guys, I think we can all kind of just in the thoughts of Maxwell and Vaughter coming in now. I think this is the pitcher they got. And guys, if you look at Karlie Keeney, she had some. First off, I think she was second in the whole nation in innings pitched. She had 260 something innings pitched, guys. That's more than Storako and May combined.
She had 261.2 innings.
Yeah, pitched. more than Ball and May combined.
Workhorse.
She's a workhorse. She beat UCLA, I believe. She pitched against OU in relief effort, I think, when they played OU this year.
That went into extra innings as well. She took OU to extra.
Yeah, so here's another. We talked about this last time on our video, Braden and Jeremy. Experience. May is the pitcher with a lot of experience for OU, but other than that, they didn't have a whole lot. So I think this just helps, again, with another arm that's very experienced.
Yeah, and I know, Jay, you said that probably closes the door on Maxwell and Vaughter. I'm not counting look, I'm not sure.
You don't know, man.
It's not.
That's not a. I agree. I don't think it's happening, but I don't think it's. You can just say it's 100% a done deal that they're not. I don't think they're going to bring in another pitch.
Mm-hmm. Well,
hey, I do think Kern's still coming. So
Kern, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I want to get into that in a little bit after we talk about Keeney.
Let me talk a little bit about Keeney because she is a different type of pitcher than what OU has on staff. She's a screwball, curveball pitcher a lot with the changeup, and so she does get a lot more ground balls maybe than some of the others. I think we're going to notice that more of a ground ball pitcher, which is always good to have. And you mentioned the workhorse that she is. She's not going to have to throw 261 innings next year. We do know that. And I think this also shows that I don't think that Gasso is necessarily going to go with an ace per se. It's going to be just, again, the 3 or 4 headed monster there in Norman.
Yeah. Well, I think this kind of states the impact that Jordy Ball really left. I mean, when she transferred to Nebraska, OU having to add 2 transfer pitchers along with already having Nicole May and Kirsten Deal, I think kind of speaks to. Well, no, they didn't have to, but Patty Gasso chose to, so she clearly saw a need. And Jeremy, I think you said it perfectly. There's not going to be probably a defined ace this year. They're going to have a 3 or 4 headed monster, and in which they will ride the hot hand at certain times.
Braden, what are your thoughts?
I like the pickup. I like the pitcher.
It was unexpected a little bit as far as I know there was talk about Keeney, and guys, for the big games she's been in, honestly, I'm not going to sit here and compare her to some of the others, but in big games against the top 2 opponents in the nation, she shut down way better than Vaughter or Maxwell did.
Yeah, and I mean, she is a workhorse. What was it? 261 innings, a lot of experience, and I mean, she's very faith-based. Went to Liberty. I don't know if that played a part in it with coming to OU at all with the faith, the Patty Gasso and the culture there at OU. I'm sure that probably had a little bit to do with it. But guys, let's face it. Some of these girls that play on other teams, they want to win championships, and she's coming to OU to win another natty. And that sets you up right now with May, Guerin, Deal, Keeney, and Monticelli. I mean, that right there, you other than May, I don't know who they're going to go with as far as, I mean, obviously this girl, I think with all the innings, she's going to be one of the rock horses. But you look at it this year, they had 3 pitchers that pitched over 100 innings. So with Storako, May, and Ball. So I kind of see a similar thing next year with 3 pitchers emerging as kind of the way they did it this year through the regular season. And then as you get closer to the World Series, maybe going with your hottest pitcher, which is what they did with Ball. She was the hottest pitcher, and they rode her through the World Series.
Hey, and the other thing is this girl's got a big game experience, even in the regionals, and so it's not like she's coming from a program where she didn't get any big game experience. What she got was this last year in the regionals was huge value to what she's going to bring next year with that experience.
Mm-hmm. And I think also another thing that she proved was that she can play with anyone in the country. I think that's another thing she showed, because a lot of times we can see with these low maybe level transfers that don't play in these high conferences that they haven't played against this big competition necessarily. And Keeney showed that she can play with anyone.
Hey, yeah, and the other thing is this proves again what we've talked about with Gasso and the homework that she does. Okay. This wasn't one. I mean, she definitely did her homework. I think this is a perfect fit for this group next year. I think she's a perfect fit for that. And a lot of the viewers may think, well, OU lost Nugent, Erickson, and Ball, and they've got 3 girls to replace those 3, so they're done. Now, that's not the case. Just because they lost 3 and got 3 does not mean they are done. I don't think, and there's been arguments. How many Boomer tweets came out? How many did Patty put out? When were they? So I know that's kind of been discussed, but I don't think they're finished.
Hey, Jay.
No, and hey, real quick before we move on to that, I want to say another thing that we haven't talked about. We haven't talked about it. I don't think we talked about it on any of the last videos we've done, but the pitching coach for OU who won the national award, Rocha, all right? So when you got her leading we've seen transfer portal pitchers come in and they get better, guys. They do. They get better under her direction. And she's going to do the same thing with the way they're very calculated on their pitches. She's very good at scouting. I mean, to me, it's just going to help Keeney and Monticelli, these other pitchers coming in just tremendously. And I don't think people talk about that enough because Gasso is the driver of this team, right? But this coaching staff with JT and with Roach, I mean, it's another level. And you're going to see it. We've seen it with the bats under Gasso. You always see it with the pitching under this great pitching coach. So
let's just maybe go around because we hinted at don't think they're done. We'll start with Braden. Are they going to get anyone else in your opinion?
Kern.
I'm going to agree. And Braden, I agree with you on Kern. I think Kern, to me, has been the one when they entered the portal right off the bat. I kind of thought this is a girl I think is going to end up at OU. Obviously, we talked about in our last video with the recent the follows and stuff on Instagram. Now, who knows? But I do think they're going to get another bat because if you look at it, all they've got from the portal bat-wise was the catcher they picked up.
Yeah.
Right? And I do think they're done at pitcher, Jeremy. I don't think Maxwell or Votto, I don't think they're coming. I know you said it's not. I just don't see any way that happens at all. You're not going to get, to me, you're not going to get Keeney or Monticelli if you already plan on getting Maxwell or Votto. So I think those are done personally. But Kern, I do think is going to be a Sooner.
I agree with Braden and Jay, what both of you guys said, but I wouldn't be shocked if maybe we see potentially 2 more bats added because we know Patty Gasso likes to try out new lineups. So maybe just to add extra depth. But I mean, hey, you never know. Patty Gasso's the queen herself, so she's going to land the biggest names in college.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
If Kern comes to OU, you're going to see some infield changes probably.
I do agree with that.
If that happens, I'll be interested to see how they would handle that. Yeah. Hey, one thing, this isn't just on OU, but we saw Erickson go to Florida. I've heard some some rumblings. Now, who knows how true this is, but I heard some rumblings about Vaughter and Maxwell maybe ending up on the same team. And if you think about it, if you're going against OU all the time, right, and OU's winning 3 in a row, maybe you can win next year, you're going to want – it's kind of like NBA. Go build a super team to try to beat these guys. And I think – and I would be looking out for Florida in that situation. I've heard rumblings that maybe they could sign both of them. But I would not rule that out in this year or in future years. If OU keeps winning, it's almost like it's going to be where teams are like, we got to build a super team to compete with these people.
And I also
That's a great point.
I think another thing that's really kind of been surprising me was that maybe I could be wrong, but I haven't seen this on national news about maybe some big time players following Jordy Ball to Nebraska to potentially wanting to team up to her to build a very solid squad. So that's, I think, maybe we could see Maxwell and Vaughter and Ball somehow join a 3-headed monster.
Hey, Jeremy.
I don't know if that would happen, but I think that's something that we could take into consideration.
Yeah, Braden. Yeah.
It would be good if we get Kern.
Oh, yeah. Kern's another valuable piece to the puzzle. And Gasso's always looking for the piece of the puzzle. And you're going to hear in the national talk, you've heard people talk about how it's just not fair that OU continues to get anyone from the portal that they want. And that's why Jason's point is so great. That's what's going to happen. And I could see Vaughter and Maxwell maybe going somewhere together too, because that's the only way someone's going to beat this team. But I say bring it.
You're going to have two things happen. You're going to have, if you can't beat them, join them, which you've seen from players come to OU, right? But you're also going to have the ones that if you can't beat them, join up together to try to go beat them. And that's kind of why I think that could happen. But we'll see. Honestly, I kind of thought when Ball went to Nebraska, I kind of thought they would get pretty busy in the portal and really get quite a few just because of her being there. Because you know how softball is. You get that stud ace on your team, and then you go get some bats and some other pieces to go with it. You could have a really good team. So, and maybe they're not done either. So I don't know. But
Jay, I know what they should do is go get a center fielder out of the portal.
OU?
Yeah.
For when Coleman leaves?
Yeah.
Well, they got somebody, I believe, on campus already in the
They also have
– Who is that?
Hold on, I could be wrong. What position is Tia Malloy?
Center field, I think.
Yeah, her sister's
2025, Tia Malloy.
She's 2024.
24, sorry.
She's gonna be a stud. I think she could immediately.
She's gonna be a stud. Hey, and I would encourage all our listeners go find. I found a video tonight of it was a Liberty podcast from Liberty Flames, and it was an interview with Karlie Keeney, just very well spoken, and she seems like that type of player that's like. They were talking about them going to the regional, super regional against UCLA. Just she's ready to go. Like she seems like that girl's just ready to go play whoever it is.
That dog in her, Jay? Does she have that dog in her?
I think she does. I really do. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see her in a Sooner uniform, crimson and cream.
Be excited where Lilio plays.
There's definitely going to be some, I think, decisions that Gasso will have to make, going into next year's.
Now, I have a question.
What's that?
Yeah, and
who would be the DP for next year?
I think there's so many
options. Far down the road.
I mean, if I had to put my money on one to open up the year, I would probably say Torres.
Yeah.
I think there's so many options, guys, and that's what's exciting with anytime Patty has options, Coach Gasso has options, she usually makes the right decision. And here we are now, as the portal seems like people are committing now. I think OU for sure is not done. I think we're going to add Kern as well. You won't get the Maxwell or Vaughter announcement until after this tournament's over that they're playing overseas in. But yeah, I think we'll see down the road if they get another one. But man, great pickup today for Sooners with Keeney. Just very excited for that.
And so, guys, make sure you subscribe. Love the comments. You know, like I said, Steve called it out on our last video. He said it was going to be Keeney on this one, on this tweet. He was correct. So appreciate your comments. Keep them coming. Keep the likes coming. And please hit that subscribe button if you have not. And we will talk to you next time, guys. Boomer.
Boomer.
Boomer.